Good afternoon world, and welcome back to our little live stream here in the Philippines on Siargao Island. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. We've come out for some lunch and we are just thinking over the things we've been talking about lately. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know that we had a little bit of trouble with our visa and we're trying to work out how we're going to work around that. It's not a big problem. And there are plenty of solutions in the way, but we just need to figure out which one is best for us. However, it has made us start thinking about what would life be if we had to leave the Philippines? What would that look like for us? What would the consequences be? We really have invested so much of our life here on this island and we really like it here. So the idea of having to do any kind of big change that would make this go away very soon has some negative thoughts attached to it. We are very much in our comfort zone here. We found a very safe island, a beautiful island that we love dearly. It's just become part of our message, it's become part of our history, part of our story. Our kids are growing up here. We've just got so many beautiful memories tied in, and some bad ones too. But life is all about ups and downs. Beautiful. Yeah, I do like it. So I want to take a moment to explain a few things in more detail. Recently, I talked about not staying here in the Philippines exclusively forever. And what I meant by that was that we would most likely want to live a part of our life here on the island, in the house that we're planning to build still. That's not changing. The land that we bought, that's not changing. We still want to do that, but we would probably enjoy having some balance in our life, like being able to do maybe 3 months of every year in another country. Maybe that's going back to the UK so we can see the side of the family that doesn't travel so much. And also, as our family ages and health problems start to become more apparent, we will be able to have the possibility to go to and from. That's what I meant by that. I wasn't saying that we were leaving imminently and that we were going to be gone next week or something. So that explains why I was talking about leaving the Philippines in that way. Also, you guys have heard us talking a lot about Japan, our experiences there. Story says that she wants to learn Japanese, she loves Japanese culture, but we're not planning on living there. We love the idea that when we're here on this side of the world, in Asia, that when good deals come up, good flights, we can visit Japan regularly so that we can have the opposite type of cultural hit, you know, that exoticism that comes from going from one place to another, that travel bug, so that we create a great balance in our life. That's what I mean by that. And more recently, when we published the video about not being able to get a visa, the only major problem we've got in the last few months or so is that there's a problem with the visa office on our island. There's been some admin problems, some system problems that aren't our fault. So we've gone to apply and the system has been down and therefore they can't process things the way they normally would. And then that pushes it to the next month, and then this month they weren't there. That's basically what happened. I don't think that we're going to have any issue with getting one when they eventually come back to the office, but it does make you start to have these thoughts about what would happen if there was a huge change in this country that wasn't favourable to foreigners and Westerners coming here to live. How would that be for us? You know, people who have life at stake here. We've got a big solar panel system, we've got a car, you know, Story's got friends here, we've got friends here, we've got land here, we want to build a house. If there was a moment where we were just like in a position where we had to go because the environment or the bureaucracy did not favour us being here, what would it mean? So for me personally, I think it would be pretty scary because I feel way more at home in the freedom of lifestyle we have managed to build for ourselves here in the Philippines than I've ever done where I'm from. And I don't want to badmouth the UK. Britain is a beautiful country, and it's where I'm from, and it's where my family's from, it's where my family live. I do love where I'm from and what it gave me, and also the opportunities it gave us to be able to have a British passport, which allows us to travel to many places around the world with much less restriction, let's say many of the Filipinos that watch our videos. I'm truly grateful for that. But leaving here and being forced prematurely to go back to a lifestyle that I don't choose right now is scary. Scary to me and scary to us as well. I asked Story how she would feel about if we weren't here anymore, and her answers were innocent. She basically said, I would miss the beach, I would miss the island heat, I would miss the coconut trees, she would miss seeing the sea straight out of your house window. You're not going to be able to find that in the UK without being a multi-millionaire. And we're very aware of the amazing lifestyle we've managed to find here for a fraction of the cost. But this little blip in the visa situation just puts those thoughts in your head, and it does make you think about perhaps coming up with a backup plan. What would it be? Where would we go? And the longer I think about it, the less I have an answer. I really do feel like the majority of our time will be here on this island, which is why we did decide to buy land and we did decide to put a house on it. And yes, we've put those plans on hold right now, but just because of finances, we want to be able to travel a bit more before we completely sink all of our income into a house build. But we do think that it will be less than 2 years before we have that up and running and we actually live in that place. Because we aren't old enough to get a retirement visa, it puts us in a bit of an awkward position in Asian countries, and it's not just the Philippines. It was the same in Thailand. If you're not over 50 years old, then retirement is out of the question. You need to have some kind of business visa, investment visa, or some kind of long extension visa to be able to stay somewhere. And you never know when those laws and those ideas are going to change. However, we are very hopeful about this announcement of the digital nomad visa, which should be in effect by halfway through this year. And hopefully that will take some of the worries off of whether or not we can stay here long term and build a proper life here that feels a bit more secure. From dusk till dawn, I'm the first one awake today, so I'm out walking Poppy, watching the sun rising high in the sky. So cute. She likes going through this little cave. Here you go, hey beast. No Shalako today. I genuinely cannot believe how lucky we are to call this home. This is incredible. I can honestly tell you that wonder never wears off. There's something about nature, it's more powerful than anything any man can ever create. Sometimes you can go a little bit blind to the beauty, but when you sit, stop and listen, it just flows back in. This is so pretty. So I got some good news this morning online. I saw that immigration will be here next week and they will be processing visas again. So we'll be able to get what we need to stay in the country long term. When they arrive, we will be sitting down with them to have a chat about if there's any newer options for us to explore. Being in that weird gap between 40 and 50, visa options in Asia are a bit tricky, but they'll be able to help us out with something. And I know that the Philippines is looking further forward towards this age demographic, people who are remote workers, who don't want to be in their home country anymore and want to live out here. So
we will keep you updated with that as soon as they be approved, and we get one, we'll tell you all about it. I'm sure plenty of people around the world are thinking about their position right now, thinking about what they want to do with their lives after the pandemic, after seeing what happened in that crisis. I know that people even in my family are considering at least a gap year where they explore living on a different part of the world, but I'll tell you about that when it happens. I don't want to talk too much about it in case it doesn't materialize, but exciting things could happen in the next 2 years, and of course if we're still vlogging in that time, we will be sharing that with you. I know we don't often remind you guys of this, but please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you are regular viewers here. It does help us a lot. It helps to show our videos to more people, which then allows us to explore bigger trips here in the Philippines and out there in the world. If you haven't checked it out already, don't forget to see our membership options down below. And while we're talking about memberships, we're going to do the shout out for today, which goes to one of our members called Jmayel Gordon. Huge thank you to Jmayel for becoming a member of our channel. It really does help us a lot. You can see the different options down below: shout outs, badges, comment streams, and weekend vlogs, which are exclusive to our members only. And if you don't want to become a member on YouTube, also check out our Patreon platform, which has a lot of different content on there that is exclusive as well. We've decided that we are going to return to 3 vlogs per week. Doing daily vlogging is unsustainable. It hurts. It's hard to do. So it will be Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays from now on, with a weekend vlog which goes up on the Sunday for our members. So I hope you will join us for those, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.